Thanks for joining me on episode 600 of the Inspired Stewardship Podcast.
I'm David Smith, author of Who's Got Your Back? Making and Keeping Great Friendships Among Men. I encourage you to invest in others, develop your influence, and impact the world by using your time, your talents, and your treasures to live out your calling. Having the ability to build real, lasting friendships as a man is vital to doing this. And one way to be inspired to do that is to listen to this, the Inspired Stewardship Podcast, with the leadership provided by Scott Mayer.
And if you're not sure, I would encourage you to sit down with a money coach, someone like me or one of the other coaches in my network, and spend some time with them doing some exercises like identifying your real definition of wealth and richness. What does it look like to be wealthy? What does it look like to be rich in your life? Welcome and thank you for joining us on the Inspired Stewardship Podcast. If you truly desire to become the person who God wants you to be, then you must learn to use your time, your talent, and your treasures for your true calling. In the Inspired Stewardship Podcast, you will learn to invest in yourself, invest in others, and develop your influence so that you can impact the world. In today's episode about investing in yourself through stewarding your treasures, I talk with you about how your money may have changed even if you haven't lost your job during this time, how your money may have changed if you have actually lost your job or had it slow down, and why this may be worth paying attention to in the long term. As we talk about stewarding your treasures, wouldn't it be great if you could support this podcast and do it without costing yourself an extra dime? Turns out you can. All you have to do is use inspiredstewardship.com/Amazon when you're ready to make a purchase via Amazon, and a small commission will come back to support the show. If you enjoy the show when you're ready to buy from Amazon, just use inspiredstewardship.com/Amazon. I want to talk with you about how your money and your relationship with your money may have changed during this time of the pandemic. You know, a lot of people are talking online now in a way that wasn't always true about money and the economy and how worried we are about coming into a recession and how people need to go back to work so that they can continue earning an income. Other people are still working and maybe working from home or working in a different way, but they're still earning an income that way. Some people are on unemployment or have received other aid packages from local and state and federal governments. The truth is, it's all over the place right now, and the conversations about money are going on in a way that really don't go on when things are normal. What's funny about that is I've always pushed for more open communication and conversation about money. One of the things I think that we don't talk about enough is our relationships with money. And I keep talking about our relationship with money. See, the truth is, money is more than just numbers on a page. Money is more than just something that you earn. The relationship we have with our money has an effect on all of our life. If we put our money before everything else, then we're serving at the foot of money as a master. And the Bible talks about how we can't serve two masters. We can't serve God and manna. We can't serve money and God. We think of that, and from that we think, well, money in all ways, shape, and forms is somehow evil. It will keep us from being spiritual and holy. And the truth is that's not true either. The truth is you can make money and use that money in a way that is stewarding it well, for using those resources well, serving the greater good, reaching out to other people, helping other people, and also taking care of you and your family as well. It is possible to have that kind of relationship if you put money in the proper place. And so one of the things that may be going on right now, if you haven't lost your job, if you're continuing to work, if you're continuing to have an income come in, maybe you've noticed some things about how you've spent money in the past. Maybe this has uncovered some difficulties or challenges, some places where you've got maybe a little more debt than you'd like, or you've been spending money in a way that now you recognize is probably not the best way to do it. Maybe it's uncovered some places where money has been put in a place where it's the most important thing in your life and you've sacrificed everything to be able to get it. And that's now not the way you want to live moving into the future. Alternatively, if you have lost your job or had your income affected in some way where you're now on unemployment or seeking aid, or maybe you don't even have any income coming in, that it's also uncovered for you maybe some stresses and some strains and some things that moving forward into the future you want to do differently. And what I would encourage you to do is not to put money at the forefront of everything you do, but rather to put your purpose and your calling at the forefront, and money will come from that if you do it well and you do it right. You know, in both of these cases, if you're struggling with how you've related to money in the past and how you want to relate it to it in the future, this is one of those areas that it's worth spending some time and some energy and some emotion right now, paying attention to it. It's worth uncovering what has been your real relationship with money. Is money your master or is money your servant? Is it a tool that you use, or is it a tool that uses you? And if you're not sure, I would encourage you to sit down with a money coach, someone like me or one of the other coaches in my network, and spend some time with them doing some exercises like identifying your real definition of wealth and richness. What does it look like to be wealthy? What does it look like to be rich in your life? How do you do that without making money your master, but instead keeping money to be your servant? If you've uncovered some difficulties and some challenges and some things that maybe you've done in the past that you no longer want to do in the future, but you're not sure if you're able to build the willpower and the behavior and the mindset and the exercises and be held accountable to it, these are the things that a coach can really help you with. I can help sit down with you and uncover what is it that's held you back from doing what you've always wanted to do with money. What is it about the relationship you have with money that really has held you back? This is what I do for my clients, and it's what I do all the time. In the last few weeks, I've had several clients reach out to me and tell me how incredibly thankful they were that they've been working with me before all of this mess started. Because even though there was strain in their life, even though there was stress in their life, even though there was fear and all of these things were going on, their relationship with money was so sound that at the end of the day, the fear, the worry, the changes weren't really that bad. They were able to roll with them and survive them and let them take control of the situation and continue to move forward in an effective way. And by the way, I've had clients that both lost their job at this time and have continued to work at this time, or even had more work than ever before at this time. It's all over the place. But the truth is, by working with a coach, they've all been thankful because as they walked through this, they've walked through it in a calmer and more deliberate and intentional way. And I encourage you to do that for yourself, or to get some help from me by reaching out. You can shoot me an email at scott@inspiredstewardship.com. Go to my website at inspiredstewardship.com, set up a 30-minute meeting. I'd be happy to talk with you about what that looks like and work with you to help you make next year and the rest of this year the best year ever when it comes to you and your money. Thanks for listening. Thanks so much for listening to the Inspired Stewardship podcast. As a subscriber and listener, we challenge you to not just sit back and passively listen, but act on what you've heard and find a way to live your calling. If you like this episode on the stewardship of treasures, you can sign up for our treasures tips by going to inspiredstewardship.com/treasures or text in the U.S. 44222 treasures tips. And we'll send you 5 weeks of our best tips on stewarding your treasures. Until next time, invest your time, your talent, and your treasures. Develop your influence and impact the world.